Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to our 11th show, and it's February 10th, and everybody knows me, Sheldon Patesic, District 6 Commander, and your co-host, and I'm with my co-host.
How you doing? I'm your state adjutant, Dominic Giuliano, coming in live with our state commander,
Charlie Pickett. Good to see everybody. It's nice to be back here.
That's right.
Wow.
And on Zoom, we have Commander Jeffrey Falk from 10052 in Cheshire. And Commander, before I get to you, I just want to touch on, I guess, the big elephant in the room, which is Dominic, which is, he had a pretty bad incident at his house. I don't know if you wanted to.
Sure.
We talked about that, and you wanted to say a couple words.
Yeah,
about
right. So just there's been a lot of questions, and there's been a lot of people asking. 2 weeks ago, around a little after 7 o'clock, I got a call from my wife, and she was pretty frantic on the phone. She basically told me there was a fire at the house, and I told her to put it out. I didn't think it was So I went home. I was working at the post. I went home, and next thing you know, I had I looked at what's going on, and I knew it was a little bit more than it was, than meets the eye. But what happened was electrical fire in the garage, and it started off, obviously, like a bunch of kindling, and next thing you know, we're spread spread very quickly into the garage. When it hit the machines, and stuff like that had gas in it, got stolen for the winter. It took out, half the house. So just so everybody knows, one, I got a lot of messages. I've got a lot of Facebook messages, text messages, phone calls. I've seen every one of them. I've read them. I may not have gotten back to everybody. I'm actually doing that now. I appreciate the love and the support from the department, from not just from the department, but my friends from the Navy, the Chiefs Mess. A lot of people from the Chiefs Mess call me, and obviously I know there's been a Zephy thing that Charlie set up. So and
Talk about Kennedy.
And Kennedy, yep. So Kennedy drove all the way across the state.
For our viewers.
Oh yeah, our senior vice commander, John Kennedy, who is right now sitting somewhere watching this show, somewhere along the line. And then Kennedy came all the way from Brookfield to East Hampton, Connecticut in about 35 minutes. And I was like, how'd you get here so fast? He goes, don't worry about it. So I'm like, all right, but Kennedy was on scene with me and stuff like that. And it was, the guys were very helpful, and and the support that I got from the state officers, the posts and stuff like that. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. And just know that thinking about you guys, and we got a wonderful year going on right now. We want to make sure that we continue. And I'm back in the saddle up at headquarters.
Everybody was okay, right?
Yeah.
And you're okay right now?
Yeah.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
We got a lot to pray for.
That's it. You got to be positive. Positivity is key. So other than that, that's pretty much all I got.
Okay, so we are going to go now to Commander Jeffrey Falk from Cheshire. He made, I guess, 102% membership.
Yes, he did.
And a lot of posts out there struggling with membership, and he did it. And he's going to tell us how his posts was able to do that. And I think he's your district, right? District 2?
In District 2, yes.
District 2.
Navin County.
Okay, so Commander, you're on now.
All right, so yeah, it's with everything at the post, it's a team effort, it's a group effort. When I took over a couple of years ago, I had Charlie and Stan helping me out, getting me adjusted and showing me the ropes. And here we are a couple of years later, and 2 years in a row, we've hit our 102%, which, it doesn't happen by accident. It's a direct result of consistent effort by a lot of people, and inside and outside of the post. And this year, as we were coming up towards the start of the new year, my father is our quartermaster adjutant, and I said to him, let's take a look and see where we are at getting over that 101% to qualify for all state. And all we need to do is renew a couple more people. And with that, we have over the years, the last couple of years too, a lot of recruiting going on within our membership, several different people bring them in, and they're ambassadors for the VFW when we do local events. You know, every conversation, every event we do, and every handshake matters. So it's just small actions compounded over the year. We are a small post, and you know, just bringing in a couple of new members really helps out tremendously in providing stability for the post. And we're looking towards the long-term commitments with hopefully converting most of our members to life members and not having to worry about renewals and membership. We just worry about bringing some new people in.
And how did you get around to getting those news people in? Did you do anything special? Did you do any community activities to get them in?
So we do several community activities throughout the year, whether it's the Buddy Poppy Drive outside of the grocery store. Cheshire has a fall festival. All the schools do a Veterans Day event now, and we all cover different schools, and I meet different veterans who are not members of the VFW, and I grab their information and we circle back to them, and that's how we've kind of grown our post, is word of mouth and just being out and approachable at these community events or the school or civic partnerships. You know, they join because they want to, because of the camaraderie, the conversation. And you know, we host dinners every other month so that everybody can get together, grab a bite to eat, and just have that camaraderie that they don't even think about until it's put in front of them.
And it's good to hear that you have like your father with you. You know, everybody's trying to get new members, and they have this stigma with the VFW, like all we do is like drink and smoke cigars in the back room, and it's really a family-oriented organization. So that's really nice to hear what you're doing over there. What else? Anything special or out of the ordinary you guys do to reach that, or you just go out and just be able to bring in a few new members?
Well, you know, it's about the family part, and with some of the younger guys, they have families, they're obligated. And it was the same thing, you know, when I joined the VFW back in '07, my father signed me up. I was like, Dad, I don't have time for stuff. Well, let's just get you on here. And I didn't realize the full scope of it. You know, and over the last couple of years, it's, you know, you participate when you can, how you can, and certain times a year. Some of our events, we say, hey, bring your kids, bring your wife, bring your significant other, bring your families, and just have a good time. And other times it's, you know, just the VFW members where you get together and do that. And one thing that does tie our post together a little bit more is, I believe we're the only post in Connecticut with a Medal of Honor recipient, Barney Barnum, and some of the events surrounding his new ship that's being commissioned in April, and then we're naming the new elementary school in Cheshire after him, has brought light to the activity in our post, and just being a part of things and getting the support in town is always great. There's never a shortage of that.
That's good to have support from the community. It makes things so much more easier. Did you guys have any questions for the commander? No.
I want to hear about how the wall that came a few years ago, how did that go down?
So the wall came in June of 2022, and that was actually started by my daughter, who runs her own nonprofit Because of the Brave. And it kind of works side by side with local veterans and military and first responders. And one of the things she saw was, you know, Vietnam veterans that, you know, they're being celebrated today, but we learned years ago they weren't welcomed home, weren't celebrated. And my father was one of those. He was drafted after graduating college in 1969 and went off to Vietnam for 13 months. So she took a keen interest in that, and she reached out, and the town was on board with everything. They supplied her with whatever they needed. Everybody donated, and the wall was here for, I believe, five days. We had it here for an extra day, and it was just a tremendous event. We saw so many Vietnam veterans, and even a local one from Cheshire that wasn't a member of the VFW post. He's actually a life member now, and had never been to a traveling wall or the Vietnam Wall down in DC. And it brings the community together, it brings awareness together, and now is the time. It's never too late to celebrate those Vietnam veterans, but we have the next generation. My daughter, who's she's 22 now, so she was 19 at the time when she brought the wall. And even with that, she had money left over from the wall and used that to take 4 Vietnam veterans and their families down to DC one December for a little R&R and to participate in Wreaths Across America.
You guys good?
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
So, Commander, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And
All right.
you're welcome to stay on and contribute. Yeah, you don't have to leave right off the bat. So thank you again.
All right. I appreciate it. I got a few more minutes until I get another appointment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. So I guess we'll go to Commander Pickett. You want?
What do you want to talk about? There's a lot of things going on in the state of Connecticut.
Let's talk about it.
Well,
Thank you.
One of the things is that we're actually getting ready for the state convention. It's in June, so let's go backwards. Where Dominic and I have been talking, and we're going to bring. What are we doing? What are we doing with the state convention?
We're doing a dinner and a dance.
We're having a dinner and dance. You know what that makes it?
A ball.
A ball. And who's going to be our headliner?
The coconuts.
The Coconuts are coming back again. So we'll have a dinner and dance. Maybe a little earlier. We got a primary speaker, a principal speaker.
Yep.
And the convention's going to be pretty good this year. It won't be a humdinger, but it'll be perfectly fine, I predict. Maybe a little more bylaw action.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to try to move most of our business to Saturday, if not all of our business.
Yep.
And then before that, we're looking to do something that works with our nascent VFW writers group. And what are the 2 big ones right now? Brookfield and
You got Brookfield and Plainfield.
Plainfield. And we're looking to have them. I realized, speaking about Medal of Honor winners, that we have a past department commander from the 50s, I think. He was a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, and we've collectively all kind of forgotten about him. So I said, look, why don't we get our nascent motorcycle group and do a motorcycle run? So we're working on that. Jeff Osach. And we also got, what else we got in the works? Oh, the Revolutionary War Trail is coming up. So that is a offshoot with the Legion and the VFW together.
Yep.
So the 250 or the CTVets250.org organization, actually we're just launching. We're trying to get a Revolutionary War Trail and gamify, have people go to different Revolutionary War things, where the British basically sacked or set on fire or destroyed an entire town, in Connecticut, when we weren't building things to kill the British, they were setting our stuff on fire. It seems to be a pattern after about doing this for 6 months.
Yep.
And then what else we got going on? God, Dominic, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Washington Conference. We got Washington Conference coming at the end of the month where we're going down to Washington, D.C. And our legislative chairman, our national guy, James Matthews, has already got most of our stuff lined up for Monday and Tuesday. And
he does.
I'll be putting the thank you, Dominic, who arranged for putting the wreath out on Saturday afternoon.
Yep. That's part of our tradition, putting the wreath.
Oh
wreath
yeah.
on there.
So there is when you ask me what's going on in the state level, there's a lot of moving parts.
So I tried to get a guest here to talk about our golf.
Our golf tournament.
And,
we now have 3 chairmen.
Okay.
The aforementioned Senior Vice Commander Kennedy.
Who's away?
We've got
Daniel
Dick.
Paz.
We got Richard
He's not
Dick
feeling,
Mason.
He's not feeling well.
He's not feeling well, but he ran the really good and well-received one at Lyman's in the fall. So we're actually, that's another, why did you bring up another change? You know, because we're now having 2 golf tournaments. We have a fall classic and now we're having a spring classic. And Dan Paz is, I think he is getting us to Racebrook. Dan
Yes,
Paz. So the
that's-
3 of them are working hard together. We're looking to do, 85 golfers, something like that. Racebrook, lots of good food, I think it's May
18th.
May 18th.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's in the works. We just had a save the date flyer go out.
I was going to ask you about that because I haven't seen anything.
Yep, it's the
about
save
it.
the date.
And
Don't you fret about that. You're going to
Get
hear
the
a
last
lot
mailing?
about that.
Get the last mailing?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
you
it
said
yet.
you saw a roll call, right?
I saw a roll call.
It's a
Yeah.
back page. I put it on the back so you
Okay.
could see it.
Right.
You know
Yes,
what?
yes.
Apparently you don't. You've seen roll call, but you didn't read it.
And actually, when I click on or the QR code or something you had over there, it takes me. It still talks about the.
Are you going to put out our dirty business on live air here?
Yeah.
How about we don't do that? Because when I hear the so maybe you could talk to me
So-
offline about a link or something like that.
Yes.
We'll talk later.
Okay. Well, I did see a link on roll call.
You're just
right?
going to go through it, right? Yeah. You're just going to go right into it. Yeah.
So if you have roll call, just click on the link, and it should take you to the golf page.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So that's great. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Yep.
You
So
gonna play
yeah,
golf?
I know we got a lot going on. We got a big. You know what? We got a council administration meeting. We're actually going to have the next 2 potential candidates for Eastern Conference are going to be at the next meeting. So that ought to be pretty interesting.
And speaking of that, so we're also at the at that council meeting this month, right? We are going to have a camera there. We're going to interview some of the officers, state officers, for our March show.
That's exciting.
Which I talked to you about earlier. So I was the
So
light.
I've totally forgotten. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
See how the flow of information happens here?
Right on live TV.
Right on live TV. Well, mostly live TV.
So So be aware of that.
And then we're going to have a housewarming party for a certain somebody who's, I don't know if we could call it a barn burner because it was a house, so we're not going to get into that. But yeah. Yep.
And so what else do you guys want to talk about? Anything else?
We got tons of, what's our time? We got time?
We got tons of time.
Oh, we got tons of time?
Yeah, we
Well,
got tons of time.
Dominic, we're actually talking about bylaws and finances, and we're talking about how to do better, but we're also talking about the posts. We're looking to get half the posts in the state to be All-American this year. And that is almost insane.
Yeah.
Because typically in Connecticut, 2 All-American. Now, for those in the audience, All-American is that you have to reach a level of membership and show excellence there. 101% is this year, right? So if you've got a post that's less than 100 people, that's 1 more person, right? Simple math. Then you have to do the programs. If you just do them a little bit at a time, you can get it done. And then there's a couple other things. You got to do the administrative stuff at All-American. Sheldon, All-American within the VFW, this organization here, that is obituary-worthy stuff. This is where you hang your hat. In your obituary, you say, I'm a one-time All-American. Took the post to All-American. All-American post. There are some posts whose Facebook pages say that they're All-American posts, and they did it 5, 7, 8 years ago. It is a big deal.
Yep.
There are posts in this state who've been around for 75 years. Yes, 75 years, never All-American. Now, it is kind of an accomplishment. This administration year, this guy, maybe this guy, and the team, including you, we're looking to get 50% or 50 of our posts, or our 80 posts now, to be All-American. By hook or crook or human sacrifice.
Oh, you're starting to sound like a recruiter now.
Is this not the year? Is this not the year that we celebrate our 250th anniversary? Is this not the year that is the Jubilee inspection year that you want to be able to say, my post in Clinton, Connecticut, we have taken this and reached excellence in the year of our 250th anniversary of our great experiment of democracy, the United States of America. Is this the year that you want to achieve the hat? That you want to do obituary, lifetime worthy things? That you want to reach all American comrades? I'm telling you this. This is the year. Now look, I know that there's not a lot of logic here. I know that most of this is emotion, but I will tell you this. Now bring that camera in here. This is the year you want to meticulously work the plan. All states lovely, but all American, where's the moneymaker? We can help you. If you have been identified as a all-American candidate, we will be contacting you. We might be in your grill. We have learned that the state of Connecticut, VFW, is in the business of keeping our VFW posts alive and well.
That's right.
Now, that doesn't make a lot of friends when you call them up and say, hey, where's your insurance policy? It's not on file, but yet those are the things, Sheldon. Those are the little things, the day in and day out, that this man and I worry about. But however, as being the state commander, this is also the year that I see the big picture. And I will, by hook or crook again, by sheer motivation, by taking my words to the people, by phone calls and emails, that we will pull, how many did we get last year?
35.
35. That's crazy. You know what? We got to go crazier. Comrades, members, all the ships at sea, we're looking for 50%, that's 40 posts,
Yep.
or 50 posts. We got 53 in contention today. Now, you could ask me again, Charlie, you're crazy. Yes, I am. But you know what? Great things come from outlandish expectations. Great things come from outlandish expectations. Now look, I see your arms are crossed. And you know I'm ramping this back up. But I mark my words right here, mark my words, that come when we cross that finish line in June, that we will achieve this mission or hyperventilate a lot, or die trying. We're not gonna die trying. However, I look forward to a very warm spring of membership programs and making the 50 for 250 come true.
Hold that thought, and we're going on break.
Dad,
Just 1 minute, okay?
hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look! He's calmed down, and now we can move on. But having said that, about All American, these guys have made it so much more easier today to reach All-State, to reach All American, than it was, like you said, 75 years ago, or even 5-6 years ago. We didn't have a dashboard. There were no dashboards to see where our progress was, to see where we're at. Utilize the dashboards. Go on the dashboards. See where you are. See what you need.
Wait, where can you find those?
You can find those on...
VFWCT.org.
That's right.
Wait, what's that website?
VFWCT.org.
Are you sure? What's that website?
VFWCT.org.
Comrades, you can go and look at that dashboard. You're absolutely right. We didn't have it, and it's nothing more than a stupid spreadsheet.
And it makes life so much more easier. Even the national dashboard has information to help you out. Utilize that. Talk about it at your meetings. You know, everybody should be looking at that. It's a big help. Okay, with that, before we move back to Commander Pickett, I just want to talk about Higginham Haddam. They're having an open house in Higginham Haddam, and it's not only just an open house, it's going to be a veterans veterans fair. We're up to 13 tables now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it kind of blew up. I kind of went overboard. So everybody's going to be there from the VA, Veterans Inc., Paws of War, Eastern Connecticut Veterans Community Center, Community Renewal Team is going to be there. The Willow Clawson thing is going to be there. I think they gave you calendars,
Yes.
right?
Pin up something. Yes. Willows.
Willow's going to be there?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
And so they're going to be there. And Husky's going to be there. Husky is going to have 3 tables. They're going to
You mean
have
healthcare?
Husky
Oh, I thought you meant
Healthcare.
that you're bringing my mascot of my alma mater.
No. Husky Healthcare
Okay,
is going to be
all right.
there. So Husky Insurance, Husky Nutrition, and Husky Dental is going to be there. And since then, we've had a couple more people show up. It's the Veterans Legal Center, and I can't think of the next one. So there's going to be about 13 tables. If you saw a flyer that said 7 Candlewood Hill Road, that's going to change. I got to redo the flyer. Evidently, we organized, we got this spot, the town let us use the community center where we have our meetings. All of a sudden, the people next door, they're doing construction, and they closed off 95% of our parking.
Oh.
They just fenced it off overnight when they found out that we were doing that. And so there's like parking for like 3 cars now at that place. So we moved it across the street to a high school, which I just got confirmation today. I'm gonna make up new flyers and send them out to everybody. So, and there's going to be, in fact, my daughter will be at that the old address. If people show up at the old address, she's going to direct them to the new address, that kind of thing. And it's probably better because the school now, there's tons of parking at that. It's an old elementary school that they use for all kinds of stuff. And so we'll be able to get more people in there, more parking. So I think it's going to be much better in the long run. And one more thing, and with that, I just want to talk about the day of service.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so day of service, people, you can't just do something in May and think you're going to get credit for day of service. You have to register. Excuse me. You have to register for this, and go online and get that done ahead of time, so you can get credit for your day of service, get credit for your community service. Again, I've been going around to the districts talking about community service. I'm sure a few of you have seen me. I'm going to be doing District 4 coming up pretty soon. So I'll be talking about District 4, about community service and what you can and cannot do. It's just real fast. It's what you do for the community and not what you do for the post. You have to really clarify that and do it right. If you put something down like, okay, we raised the flags, and thinking you're going to get community service for that, he's going to shut you down right away.
Quickly.
Okay?
Quickly.
Okay, then, that's not something you want to put down. I have passed out flyers at your district meetings about what you can and what you cannot do. And in fact, I'm gonna probably send that out. Our state commander sent me the flyer. I'm gonna just send that out to everybody shortly. And with that, I think
Let me piggyback on you about community service.
Please.
I really appreciate, matter of fact, we ran into each other at District 5.
Which is 2 hours away. That was a haul.
Yeah, that was a haul. That was a haul. And I ran up the dashboard and said, Sheldon, I'm glad you're here because what was the previous one we went to where everybody had, I think it was District 6 was pretty good.
District 6, yes.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I said, we're not worried here. We got to District 5, and I'm going to put it out there. Poor guys, you got to do your reporting. He gave an expert professional development. We gave him the information. This is something we also cover in our schools of instruction in the fall.
Yep.
The litmus test and I'm glad you brought this up. It is someone from the VFW doing something nice for someone else. So something nice, clean up litter for the town. Beautification at town memorials. Those are things. If it's for the town, that counts as community service. Now, if you're doing flag burning on your property, that's sketch. You know, that's totally, you know, if you're doing buddy poppy, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know. However, and we've talked about this, if you're doing a canned food drive outside a Stop and Shop in Madison, Connecticut, and you're collecting cans of food for the local food pantry, but you just happen to have some buddy poppies over here, and you happen to have some membership packets over here, it's a canned food drive, and these things are auxiliary. This is great. These are extra things. That is how you get community. You get three things: CMP, cans, but no CM, membership, and then poppies. CMP. I had the acronym, and I blew it.
You, Charlie.
But yes, and please get on the VFW.org. You can report up your community service. It was 1.5 years ago that we moved all programs out of state reporting and put them to national reporting. There are plenty of resources. If you could pan over to our #1 resource to my right, if you could pan over to my #1 resource right here. This young man here, great, you know what he gives? He gives great customer service. He will help you with your community service reporting. Absolutely. But, and I also appreciate about on the day of service, it's a 3-parter. You gotta say, I'm gonna do it this day, and it doesn't have to be the main one. It has to be one, because we all do stuff in May. You have to go do the thing, and then you gotta report the thing to get the day of service. It's been 5 years, it's still relatively new, the shirts are cobalt blue, they're all very lovely. I can see why they're doing it, and I can see why it's taken off.
No, yeah.
However, that 3-parter gets some of our leadership hemmed up and is a barrier because of the complexity. And it's not that complex, but it's complex enough that they're like, oh, forget it, I'm not gonna do it, and they'll be out of All-American. I kid you not, Sheldon, I kid you not. You have seen this at the post level and at the district level, and you've seen this at the bird's eye, state level. It is little things like that can we pan back to the aforementioned best asset that we have here in the state of Connecticut?
Thanks, Charlie.
He will give him a call. Call him in the afternoons. I have plenty of work for him in the morning.
Yeah, after 1 p.m.
Yeah, and he will help you with your community service.
Unless it's a dire emergency.
Unless, something's getting chopped off or something.
And Commander, you made a good point that you could do as much, and I'm going to defend District 5 for a second, because when I was at the meeting, they all talked about their community service. They all talked about how much they did, and they do so much, right? But evidently, some of them are not reporting it, right? Because you were telling me...
No, a shocking amount of, like most of them.
Okay.
Yeah. But we will overcome that.
But, so, if you can do tons of community service, but if you don't report it, you didn't do it. You got to report it and make sure it gets into the system. That's all part of doing your community service. Another thing with community service is that, you talk to so many posts who are having problems with retention, with getting people, and then you say, okay, my people don't want to come to meetings, they don't show up. How much community service do you do?
Oh, look at Jeff Falk you just had on.
We don't do, exactly.
They do stuff in the community. 102 again, a second year in a row. They do things in the community.
And that's what keeps your members engaged. You keep them engaged, they're going to come to the meeting because they want to. No one wants to come to a meeting and not do anything, not be involved. Why are they coming to a meeting? So if you have community service, you say, okay, you guys can do this, we can do this, and that just keeps them engaged. And that's what brings in more members to you. So that's how important community service is. And like I said, record it. Give somebody in your post the job. Someone's want to be involved very much. Let them be the one that puts that into the system. Give them that position so they can keep reporting it. And with that, Dominic, you haven't want to talk about anything?
He's got nothing to talk about. What are you going to talk about?
I think you know, piggyback to community service. I think one of the things that I've noticed throughout the state was there are a lot of these posts that have like buildings and like actual have halls. They've been doing the veteran coffee house.
Yeah.
And that is right there a good way to connect with your your local veterans. And
No, wait a minute. Can you get community service hours for donating it to an organization that's putting it on?
yeah,
So if the VFW donates the hall to Easter Seal, or not Easter Seals, but someone else who puts on, or even a state agency,
yeah.
they can claim that.
Yeah,
Like a blood drive?
Yeah, you donate. Yeah,
Like a blood drive.
Yeah, right.
Now,
It's the
I
same
heard
deal.
some scuttlebutt, and I think we've run into that where it was turned down. Like, I have one commander says, no, you can't do that. 5 years ago, they told me this. But that falls in line, like the VFW doing something nice for somebody else.
I've yet to turn one of them down.
Okay, all right. So so comrades, let's keep in mind this is not too much of a policy change, but you might want to revisit it because I hear people like our 399 down in Westport. They do blood drives all the time.
Yep.
You know, so I don't want someone to leave perfectly good. Remember, we're congressionally chartered organizations that have to report these things, and they take all this data and they present it to Congress on the regular.
Yeah, to say, hey.
So all these little posts, these little things, the beautification that you did for an hour to pick up trash at the V in New Haven Harbor, that adds up by millions across the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
And that's a good point. So if people think that recording it is just for the state reasons or just because we're just trying to do something for the state, no, there's a national reason because we take all those hours and we can show what we're doing in Congress and everywhere else. That's why it's important that you put these hours in, okay, to show them that we're such a big organization and we're doing so much for our communities. So,
Sheldon, also to piggyback, is that we are mandated to do with our IRS section 501c19, we have to show a community service portion. So posts are not really good at putting that in their minutes. So they're supposed to actually be, when you make a report in your minutes during a meeting, you say, hey, we recorded, 2 members did 5 hours at such and spent $20 on blah, blah, blah for somebody else. That should be in your minutes. So if the IRS ever comes knocking and saying, hey, you know what, we think you're not really you're not meeting your mandate, they have it in the minutes. However, you create a paper trail by submitting it to national. So hook or crook, it's not gone in the ether. You are doing that. Knock on wood, state of Connecticut is not, we've not had those problems. But talking to my peers across the nation, there are some departments where the IRS is right in there and auditing on a percentage posts all around the state. And that includes, liquor control. That includes, donations. That includes, do you have a proper auditing trail? All those things. Connecticut's been pretty lucky because it's been laissez-faire. But be mindful, good practice shows that you're documenting the good deeds that you're doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It gets sent to.
There's a reason for these things.
National takes all of our reports that we sent quarterly, and he sends it to the IRS.
Yes. Now you're talking about Lynn Rolfe.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've had discussions with him like, come on, man, you're taking it from, absolutely. It all bubbles up,
that's
goes in the database, and he presents it to Congress.
Right to Congress.
You're absolutely
that's right. He does. So, so the way, and just so you keep in mind, when somebody submits, a report, I go through it, I read it, I make sure it hits the tenets that we need to, make sure it hits the tenets that we needed to hit. If there's an issue with like a reporting or somebody turns around and puts something in there like had karate in the hall, like I will call and be like, what is this?
Do they pay you?
Yeah. Well, you got to give me some more.
This is a for-profit. How does this benefit the town?
Yeah. Then usually I'll send it back, or I can't edit it at my level, but usually I'll send it back. Like, this is what you need to put. Stuff like that. I'm not gonna be like, reword.
Sometimes it's nothing more than turning a poppy drive into a canned food drive. Yeah. That's how you can approach that stuff. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah.
It only makes sense, and it's sometimes people just don't know. But we have been having these trainings every other week.
The Zoom trainings
they're working.
That Dominic introduced.
So it's right on here.
Oh, it was.
It was right on here. Remember? It was several
Are
months
you
ago.
saying that you were the inspiration? This show was the inspiration
Yeah.
for making a better VFW in the state of Connecticut?
Yeah, the idea popped up here
Wow.
as we were going back and forth.
You know,
and
we need to do trustees.
Yeah,
we
we
need to have
do.
a trustees
Yeah,
meeting.
we do.
How was
We
the
do.
last show you did? I didn't get.
It was
go over
good.
the last
It
show.
was good. It was, Charlie had the opportunity to, reach down and show what the successes were for him as far as,
We had like 24.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, here's the battle rhythm.
Yeah, right.
Here's what you have. You can plan here in February for what you got to accomplish by June or what you want to do.
Right.
And a lot of it is comes down to having a focused April.
Yeah.
So being focused on April, you can get a lot of things done.
Yeah.
And it's a big month. It's a big month,
Sure.
Sheldon. And putting that together, I forgot how busy your quartermaster and your adjutant and that elections, because nominations are March
I'm glad you bring it up. I want to talk about elections. Yeah.
and elections are April at the Post. It says it right in the national bylaws. Now, we're not making this crap up. And to drift from it, it is my job as the CEO and the person that enforces the standard. You're going to have your elections in April.
People.
That's right.
I know there are some posts that have drift, and it's sort of like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
One of the best things to ensure success for a post is go into nominations with a plan. And February, the dark days and cold days of February, when you're calling around, you can say, hey, have you thought about being a 3-year trustee? Have you ever considered being a benefits advisor? Oh, what does that mean? Having those conversations and then coming to the meeting, the nomination meeting, prepared.
Yeah.
It helps smooth things over.
Sure.
And if you get 2 or 3 people, maybe there'll be some infighting, but you kind of want to have a chorus of people saying, oh, how about this guy? How about that guy? That type of thing. And for God's sake, people, make sure you inspect your your evidence of qualifying service. So that is a constant thing with the VFW. Our mandate from Congress says you have to be in a foreign war. You have to have one of those ribbons. It's great that you went on this secret thing with the submarine, but at some point you're going to have a ribbon that says, hey, here you go. That said, Sheldon, it is surprising that it still pops up. That there are officers of the state running around who don't quite meet the criteria. Not a lot anymore, but it still happens.
Yeah.
It still happens.
And that's a good point you made, because you guys just put out an email a couple weeks ago looking for DD-214s.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And how's that coming along?
I think one district did all 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's another one. Matter of fact, there's one in your inbox that I'm looking for. Districts are mandated, like posts, to keep an officer file. So I'm going to be turning around and looking at you and saying, hey man, make these scans, send it to me on the POS, the post online, what is it, submission form, and we'll set it up, and then we're going to print it out, and then when we have, another big thing is we have department inspection by national inspectors. The first time,
5 years.
did they?
Last 5. It was it was over 5 years.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Maybe
there'll be-
longer. No.
Yeah, I think it was longer. However, Sheldon, that's kind of a big thing, and it's helping us with the boring nuts and bolts of running a state's VFW. So by having getting ready for this inspection, it's helping us reevaluate the systems and the things that we're doing.
Yep.
Nothing crazy, but it's sort of like, oh, maybe we should do this. That type of thing. And one thing is that we're supposed to keep files. We have them. Actually, it was forced on it because before you could run in our bylaws, our state bylaws, it said you had to submit ahead of time your evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was against national bylaws. So that when we did our revision, that got tossed out.
Yep.
They're like, you can't do that. So now we're making new systems and saying, hey, please submit what you districts have on file for your officers.
That kind of makes sense, though, right? Wouldn't you want to know ahead of time if this person was qualified to run?
But think about the mechanics of it. You get to the state convention and someone wants to run off the floor. You can't say, hey, you can't run off the floor. No, that's against Robert's rules. That's against our national bylaws.
Yep.
So that said, it's you have 30 days, and quite honestly, you should have it on your phone, for God's sakes. Redacted. We don't want to know your social security number. We want to know that, hey, too easy, right there. It says, boom, here's your ribbon. Yep, he's good. You see it, see it, we're done. It's that simple. And it should be that simple. And if it's not that simple, even I had to file a DD-215, and I think that process took
Ever.
7 or 8 months.
Yep.
And one day, I think I sat down with my 214, and I was putting in a packet to be in the Middletown Cemetery someday, not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. And I was like, where are my RCOMs?
They forgot to put them in.
Yeah. He also almost forgot to put it in Afghanistan. And I remember, hey, Master, it would be great before I went to my final formation if I could have Afghanistan here on my paperwork. He's like, oh. And I'm like,
What was it, your DD-215?
yeah, no, 14. So I 15 came back, everything's right there.
Yep.
Too easy. It needed time and just the gumption and going back to the dusty files. And I think I remember, it was in my National Guard Bureau, NGB 22.
Yeah, NGB 22.
My NGT 22,
Yeah.
but it wasn't in my federal. So I got a 215, nice and clean, and there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've done the process.
Oh,
This takes a while.
It took about 7-8 months. Yeah.
That's kind of short.
Yeah, I was very happy.
It's kinda
Although
short.
I gave them copious amounts of evidence.
Oh, okay.
Copious.
All right.
And I had it in my old Love Me book. So in the Army, we have they tell you right up, have a 3-ring binder with the pocket protector, put everything in there. It's on my Love Me book.
Yep.
And that's what we used to call it. And so I was like,
I still got one
oh,
of
here are
those.
my orders. Woo, photocopy.
Yeah.
I put in for my DD-215 too, because they didn't have one of my, I was on TAD on my ship, and we were scraping tiles and paint, that kind of thing, with nothing, no respirators,
Oh.
no anything.
Oh,
They just, we were like
What ship were you
19,
on?
20 years old, and it was the Coral Sea.
You're on the Coral Sea?
It was an old ship, and before I went out, they had a goal of taking out 2 tons of paint and 2 tons of tile, because they were tile on top of tile on top
Yeah.
of tile.
Oh, okay.
So before we went out on this new cruise, they just totally rehauled it, and everybody had to send somebody to their shop, just take out the old tiles, and that's what we did. We took out tons of tiles, put it in plastic trash bags, took
Cut
it
it off.
down.
Hopefully
It was
those
crazy.
weren't asbestos tiles.
Oh, I'm sure they were at
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
So that's why I put
That
it-
or the glue.
So I'm preparing now.
So was it the 12-inch by 12-inch tiles?
Yeah, it was a small tiles.
Yeah, I remember
it was
those,
paint
yeah.
chips
Yep,
and all, and it was just a
yeah,
bunch
that's
of
the
kids
ones.
having fun with the tiles and doing this. At that time, what was it what was it?
Mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma wasn't around, right?
Right,
You didn't hear about that.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
take tiles and you just say, hey, having fun with the tiles, and there's asbestos all in the air.
I
So,
heard you had like a PhD in like stripping and waxing.
oh my God! Yeah, exactly. Everybody, yeah. If you were in the
Stripping and
service,
waxing the deck,
you
man.
waxed, you waxed.
So we
them
used to
up.
have to take razor blades and get some of the old wax up because it just wouldn't come up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
And just because we're throwing around the number 215, right? DD-215, if
Yeah.
everybody doesn't know that. If anything wasn't on your DD-214,
It's 215 supersedes.
chances are it'll be on your DD-215.
Yep.
Or you have to supply evidence from
So-
your orders.
Thank you. Yeah.
Before we lose time,
We got 5 minutes.
I would like to bring up that, so over the past year, the VFW Department of Connecticut and the American Legion Department of Connecticut, and I mentioned it before, the CTVets250.org, the coalition, we're throwing together, we have now we've created a foundation, and we're doing 250th stuff, and that's the Revolutionary War Trail. Our first fundraiser is going to be at the Outback Steakhouse in Southington, Connecticut. All you do is you walk in there for a steak meal, and you say, "Hey, I'd like to, donate, some of my." They will donate as long as they say it. So it's nothing more than we're going to be out there flyering and just trying to get some money, because it's the online stuff that's going to cost the most. And we are cobbling together, and we've had sites, and there's all sorts of history and the vets fighting amongst each other, wanting to say, okay, which of these 12 to 14 sites are, who's going to make the cut for the Revolutionary War Trail. So your state VFW is very cognizant that that's coming up. Matter of fact, we got a meeting tomorrow with the Legion about the Hall of Flags.
That's right.
So that's coming. That's after my term, but we look forward. We are already, not already, but we are fully involved in preparing for America's 250th. So we look forward to that. We are one of two statewide. We're only two statewide programs that we can find. Everybody else is within the town or within their silo. So I'm pretty excited about this. But again, Monday, the 16th at Southington at the Outback Steakhouse.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice. How about, are you doing any more of the training coming up?
Yes, I haven't booked anything. We're going to do another round of quartermaster.
Oh.
We're going to throw the adjutant and the trustees in there as well. Get them all online. Because I want to go over that because what I'm trying to do is talk about these trustee reports.
Yeah.
I want to get them all under one roof, and I want to go over all of it because I want to make sure that everybody's doing it right. Okay, what are the numbers and stuff like that? Why the adjutant can't be, a trustee, and And
Oh, we ran into that in New Haven.
Yeah, we ran into that. And, so we're trying to clear up a lot of the misconceptions. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But you know what? That's why training happens. Matter of fact, we remember from the military that sometimes knowledge is perishable, so you have to sometimes have renewal training.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of it's remedial, I'll say the trainings, the results from the trainings, if you recall, there's been an influx of people that normally wouldn't have done some of these things are actually attempting to do some of this stuff, like program reporting and community service reporting, and actually VMS.
Our training is doing what it should do. Is it's paying off dividends
Yeah,
by we're achieving the standard.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, and I keep talking about the standard because I was an Army NCO, so that's what we largely talk about. But if that's the standard, and people are, otherwise we're forced to do it or yell at them to do it, it doesn't have to be that way. We can say, here is the safe path, the easy path. It's not that hard. Let's make this happen together, comrade.
That's right. That's right.
So, Sheldon, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Oh, you're always welcome. Thank you for coming on.
I think this is third time. Third time's the charm.
Yeah, so I appreciate it.
It's not often I stand up and go into a spiel about America.
You had to calm him down to a break, but yeah.
Oh, man.
Sheldon, I look forward to your post being All-American too.
You're almost there.
You're almost there.
You're almost there.
6 or 7.
I'm sorry, what did you say, 6 or 7?
Yeah, so.
I'm a high school teacher.
You're almost there, man.
There, I know.
That's excellent.
So
That's excellent.
Good. And everybody just take advantage of the training. So much training going on. Okay, Zoom, we do one training a year. Take advantage of it. It's very helpful, and you guys can pick up a lot. With that, I want to say, again, thank you again, guys. Thank you for being on. Commander Falk, if you're still on, thank you so much. And again, good night, good luck.
And to all the ships at sea.
To all the ships at sea.
To all the ships at sea.
God bless America.
Yep, that's right.